Hello, my name is Fumiyoshi Kamo, the first author of this study. Our research investigated how professional musicians respond psychologically and physiologically under unusual performance conditions using a newly developed Two-Electrode EEG device by our industry partner, Biosearch Company Limited. I have worked as a professional musician for over 20 years, training many young popular musicians. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when live performance was restricted, I earned a PhD in engineering. My collaborator, Biosearch Company Limited, formerly known as Neurosky, until April 2024, has established technologies for digitally processing various types of biosignals. Let me explain the background. According to the Japanese National Census statistics, the chance of becoming a professional musician is only about 0.02 to 0.04%. This means that the vast majority of learners will not become professionals, so it is important to clarify what is the broader meaning of music education in such cases. In Japan, popular music such as rock has often been viewed negatively. For example, in 1965, the Ashikaga City Board of Education declared the so-called electric guitar ban, based on the idea that electric guitar equals delinquency. This decision spread nationwide. Against this historical background, the purpose of our study is to clarify what kind of strengths learners can gain from studying popular music, even if they never become professionals. To do this, we use the newly developed EEG device to visualize the hidden strengths of professional musicians. Previous studies showed that frontal asymmetry in EEG at F3 and F4 under the hair is related to emotional variance, and the so-called A score was defined as an index of positivity or negativity. In contrast, we used frontal sites FP1 and FP2 on the forehead. This was not a random choice. Prior work demonstrated that signals from FP1 using Neurosky's earlier MindWave device were reasonably comparable to clinical EEG. By adding FP2, we enabled symmetrical measurement without shaving hair or using conductive gel, and calculated the A score from alpha waves at FP1 and FP2. For psychological measures, we used the well-established Self-Acceptance Inventory, or SAI. It consists of 4 subscales: self-understanding, self-approval, self-worth, and self-trust. A higher SAI score means greater self-acceptance. Meanwhile, the A score, derived from EEG, indicated emotional variance, with higher values reflecting more positive emotional states. In this study, we compared SAI scores with A scores to examine their relationship. First, we conducted a pilot test with one professional guitarist who also holds a PhD in engineering. He performed 2 pieces, one technically demanding and another requiring improvisation over difficult chord changes. In both cases, slower tempos led to lower A scores. In a later interview, he said, "At a slow tempo, I feel I must play perfectly." Next, when he attempted math problems generated by ChatGPT, including hallucinated items with no valid solutions, his A score dropped dramatically, as shown in the graph. From this, we consider that EEG can indeed capture hidden emotional changes. Next, the main experiment. We created 4 steps. In steps 1 and 2, each musician played on their primary professional instrument. Step 1 as rehearsal, and step 2 was the real performance. In step 2, the improvised guitar solo appeared, which was not present in step 1. Then, in steps 3 and 4, the same musicians switched to their least familiar instruments, again with step 3 as rehearsal and step 4 as real performance. All sessions were recorded as a no-audience live concert. Here are the results. When the performance moved from the improvised guitar solo back to the main chorus in step 2, A scores temporarily dropped among all members except the guitarist. In post-performance interviews, musicians reported, "I was anxious about the timing of the return. Once the main chorus began, their A scores recovered." Now, the SAI result. All musicians maintained high self-trust scores, 20 or above out of a maximum of 28, both before and after performance. However, the Spearman correlation with A score shifted dramatically from positive before performance, low equals 0.90, to strongly negative afterward, low equals minus 0.97. This indicates that also psychologically they reported positive self-trust. Physiologically, their EEG rebelled negative emotional responses. Let me discuss these findings. First, professionals consciously maintain positivity, but unconsciously they experience negativity. Yet their recovery of A scores demonstrates a hidden strength, the ability to rebound from negativity. Second, STEAM Japan has emphasized that Japanese youth are not lacking in ability, but rather face strong negative elements in their mindset. In other words, a general lack of confidence. According to STEAM Japan, education must therefore cultivate self-acceptance beyond conventional STEM subjects, which has led to a rising demand for creativity-based STEAM education. This highlights the broader educational value of studying popular music, not only for training professionals, but also for fostering self-acceptance and creativity in all learners, aligning with the goal of STEAM education. This study was conducted with professional musicians, but in the future we aim to apply this framework to high school light music clubs. According to surveys, there are about 2,100 such clubs nationwide, with around 92,000 student members. In many clubs, students regularly perform original songs in popular music and improvise solo during the interlude. By applying the visible strengths of creativity and the hidden strengths of recovering from unconscious negativity, demonstrated by professional popular musicians, club activities themselves may become an educational model that fosters self-acceptance and creativity among youth. Therefore, we plan to extend this framework to high school light music clubs.